First of all, it's a very, very lucky situation to be the last speaker. Why? Because be the last speaker, you can skip some slides, because the speakers before you have told better than me some things. So, for example, how light is important in paintings. For example, Caravaggio is a real master about using light in painting. But, for example, in these paintings, light is not realistic, probably, but can suggest where you have to look at. And so it's very important from my point of view. And also, in this very famous The Conversion on the Way of Damascus, Caravaggio is really a master about light. But as, for example, Charles told before, light is useful also for art. Because, for example, look at Supper at Emmaus by Caravaggio, okay, a dark background. But using reflectography, and luckily Charles explained better than me what is reflectography, we can show at the National Institute of Optics in Florence, I'm from Florence, we can show, for example, that the first idea of Caravaggio was not a dark background. The first idea of Caravaggio was a window with sun, with tree, a wonderful window. But then he changed his mind completely. Why? We don't know. But it's very interesting, in my opinion. We can look under drawing. In some way, it's similar to look at the manuscript of Divina Commedia, for example, of Dante. We can see the initial idea of the painter, and this is really, really interesting. But the core of my talk is about light and perception of light, because I'm a physicist, so light is very easy to explain because I'm a physicist, so light is photons and something like that. But I'm sorry because I'm a physicist, but I can work with a technological device, okay? I'm a physicist, but for a physicist there are two essential elements of light. A light, and then an object, ooh, it's dangerous, an object that can reflect the light. These two important things, but it's obvious. Some things here, what is important also in light? A person. It's impossible to speak about light without speaking about vision. And it's impossible to speak about vision without a person. And so this is very clear also in the Middle Age, as Sergei said before, and for example for Dante, and where Dante says, so must the human mind be spoken to, since only through the senses can it grasp what then is fitted to the intellect. But please, may I speak in Italian only for 10 seconds, because Dante is a poet, so I have to read in Italian, because a poet is, we have to read in the original language. And so, solo da sensato apprende ciò che fa poscia d'intelletto degno. Only from the reality we can understand what we can see inside. I want to show some example about the fact that vision is something that happens inside here. First example. Okay, look at this object. Probably upper part is dark gray, and this part is white, more or less. Do you agree? More or less, I think so. But the real fact is that completely equal, the same color. So please, don't be shy. Do you believe it's the same color? Please, raise your hand if you believe. If you don't believe, raise your hand. Okay, some people don't believe, and it's a very scientific position, because 3 years ago, I showed this image to George Smoot, Nobel Prize in Physics, and he said to me, I don't believe. And so I have to explain to you, I have to prove to you that it's true, it's the same color. Okay, first of all, try Using, for example, 1, 2, 3 fingers, depends on where you are seated, try to eliminate the center of the image. Try to eliminate, and probably it's quite similar, upper part and down. It's true. Does it work? Eliminating the center. Why? Because our vision never do absolute measurements. Every time we make a comparison, this is very important from point of view of perception of light, and also for art, for example. We can't see an absolute measurement of light. We can do a comparison between a part and another part. So, when I look, this part is the only one real white. When we look at this part, we make a comparison, and this part seems whiter in a certain sense, in some way, and the same things in the opposite part. But I want to prove in a very evident way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same. It's absolutely the same color. So this is very important, and usually when we look at these optical illusions, we say, okay, our vision is not so good, okay, it doesn't work so better, okay, it's a problem of my brain. It's not true. This is a strong skill of our brain that can interpret reality in order to see the world better. A very evident example. Look at A and look at B. Probably you can imagine now what can happen, but look at A, please. A and B are the same color, exactly. I know it's difficult to believe, but please believe me, no computer trick, only copy and paste A. It's the same color. Why? Because looking at B, our brain thinks, okay, there is a shadow on B. So our brain, not for a mistake, but in order to suggest to us a good way to look at reality, says, okay, if in B there is a shadow, the real color is not so darker, and try to present to us the real color. In this situation, we make a mistake. But in real situation, this is very useful because, for example, shadow here, but our brain can reinterpret. So vision is this process. Okay, it's true, but okay, another example, very quick, I want to show, but it's very important that during this experiment, you have to look at the dark point in the middle of the slide, and please don't move your eye. Don't move your eye. Move your eye only when I will say, okay, move your eye. Okay? Also the translation works, so, okay. Look at the small dark point in the center of the slide. Because looking at this point, your eye are adapting to colors, are adapting. I think that probably in 10 seconds, we will be ready for the experiment. So 10, 9. In 5 seconds, I will change the slide, but please don't move eye. Only when I will say move, you can move. Okay? I will change the slide in 2 seconds. 2, 1. Okay. Move your eye. Okay, is the castle colored or black and white? Have you seen the castle colored, the sky blue, the green grass? Have you seen? Okay, the blue sky and the green grass does not exist on my PC, only in your brain. Only your brain put colors in the image. Why? Because we are so adapted to the complementary colors that looking at this image that I can assure to you is black and white, is not colored, but you have seen colored, you have seen the right color. So it's really interesting, in my opinion. You can create your own illusion going at this web address. So you can create, if you can use Photoshop or something like that, you can create. So, and at the end will appear also my email. So if you want to receive this address, no problem. And I want to show to you another example related to another very famous example recently appeared on the net. Okay, look at these two slides. Yellow pillow, green pillow. Do you agree? Okay, more or less. 8% of male can't see color very well, but more or less. Okay. In the next slide, why this pillow is green? Because I have put a blue filter on the yellow pillow using a sellotape. Okay? So, yellow on blue filter on yellow, greens. Now, try to think. In the next slide, this blue filter will be on the whole slide. Every color will change, okay? For example, quite easy. May I ask to you the question? Okay, for example, the yellow square will become green. Perfect, because it's quite easy, because it's more or less the same yellow. Now, Daria, please, it's your time. The white rectangle will become blue. It's quite easy, because is white with blue filter on. And for example, the red one will become, someone want to try? Sorry? Violet, okay, good guess. Okay, now in the next slide, the real answer. In the next slide, the blue filter is on the whole picture. All the color will change, only this pillow remain green. The other will change. And please ask to my question, okay? Next slide. What is the color of the pillow, please? It's yellow. But I can assure to you that is green. It is exactly the same green as before. And so you can see, okay, probably it's green, but it's yellow. What is happening? That in this slide, our brain can make comparison between different parts of the slide. And so our brain can eliminate the filter and can show reality as should be, not as the real pillow that in this situation is green. Because I can assure to you that pillow is green, you can see in the up part of the slide, and it's green, absolutely green. But your eye can reinterpret it. And this is very important because we use every day we use a filter on objects. This filter on object that we use every day is lighting, because lighting can change the appearance of object. There is a very famous example recently on the net related to this phenomenon called contrastation color. Probably you know the dress, this very famous topic. Okay, who can see the dress white and gold? Raise your hand. Okay, now blue and black. Okay, so we can see same image, completely different perception. Why? Because for serendipity, this picture is on the edge about our interpretation of reality. So some person interprets the lighting in one way, other person can interpret the lighting in another way. Very interesting. A lot of work made, for example, from covenant couples about blue-black, light blue, and no correlation with sex, no correlation with age. We don't know why. But, okay. Oh, going to this example is famous. Blue and black, white and gold, but obviously, for example, is the same color. So it's something related to our interpretation. Okay, going to the conclusion. I'm working about light and painting because light on a painting is very important and can change dramatically the appearance of an object. And in our lab located in Opificio delle Pietre Dure, a very, very important laboratory about restoration in Florence, we have the possibility to make experiments about painting, and not the poor painting, because, for example, they ask to me, it's okay, Raffaello, and I say, yes, Raffaello could be good for an experiment. So I have Raffaello for an experiment, Madonna del Granduca, and also an Italian contemporary artist, Giovanna Rasario, and I try to know what is the better lighting for different paintings. And this is interesting because common people, for example, like me, I'm not an expert about art, common people loves a lot new LED, new LED lamp sources. Using new LED lamp sources, we can have a very, very beautiful appearance. New LED sources are really, really interesting. Old LED lamp are terrible, but also halogen lamp are not so good for some person. When we ask to expert, history of art, restoration, expert says, no, we have to use halogen. But for us, for common people, LED lamp is really interesting, and the difference is really evident. For example, this is Eleonora da Toledo Chapel in Palazzo Vecchio in Florence, halogen lamp, and now LED lamp. Completely different. And also, we can see a lot of example, Pontormo visitation, changing the light. Okay, I don't know if I can, yeah. Okay. This is Botticelli, St. Augustine by Botticelli, halogen lamp, LED lamp. I don't know what is better, but probably lighting on a painting is an interpretation of a painting. Oh, terrible, an interpretation. What's the problem? For example, can we hear Mozart concerto nowadays? We can hear only an interpretation of the concerto. Is this a problem? No. So we can try to interpret it, in my opinion. The end of my talk, because 20 minutes are vanished. The end of my talk is about when I was in Paris 2 months ago. Stephen Chu, Nobel Prize, and also past Secretary of Energy in the USA, says new light sources have to be cheap to buy, easy to maintain, easy to install. And at the end of my talk, I want to add a line to Stephen Chu. I have to because new lamp sources have to be certainly cheap, easy to install, easy to maintain, but also beautiful to see. Because in the mankind, there is the desire of beauty. And the desire of beauty is not something that we can cancel, that we can eliminate. It's really important, because if something is not beautiful to see, probably it's not interesting. So it's impossible to divide art and science, because in my opinion are two things related by the same desire. The desire of beauty, the beauty of nature, the beauty of the creation of something. If you don't believe that, I want to show also my research group and my, social network and something like that, if you want to ask something today, tomorrow, not today. But if you don't believe that in the heart of every person there is a desire of beauty, there are a lot of places where this is evident. But I can assure to you that almost 2 places there are very evident proofs that the desire of beauty is present. One place is Firenze, Florence, where I'm, and another one is St. Petersburg, because it's quite evident, staying in St. Petersburg, that it was created with this idea that the desire of beauty is really, really inside the heart of human mankind. Thank you very much for your attention.